You need to be the architect of your environment when being a leader. And here we said it on day one, good is the enemy of great, and great is the enemy of special. The great ones are the architect of their environment. Capiche? Here's the biggest thing for me, and don't write this down, just think about this. Go ahead, lock in. Fix the body language real quick. Let's fix the body language. Thank you. Here's the biggest thing for me. I think as an athlete, desiring fair treatment is the mindset of the mediocre. I think consistently wanting things to be fair is ridiculous. Give me some taps if this week you've had a call go against you, that's the wrong call. Give me some taps if this week give me some taps if on your team you should be playing more and you're not playing enough. That's fine. Give me some taps if you think you should be getting a scholarship but you aren't getting looks. Yeah, I agree. It happens to everybody across the country. Capiche? Here's what I heard when I was an athlete, and I love this quote. I want you to get it down. Be an island of excellence in a sea of mediocrity. As a lion, here is what your motto needs to be. You can't make this tough enough for me. Be an island of excellence in a sea of mediocrity. Is that what it was? Oh man, I'm really bad. I love this stuff. Pretty excited. Yeah, here's your definition. You can't make this tough enough for me. And here's what I mean by that. Write these 3 words down. And I know I'm giving you a ton. I don't care. 1, just write basketball. 2, I want you to write gym floor. And then 3, I want you to write referees. Yeah. And that's okay. This is more for your parents. Referees. Basketball, gym floor, and referees. So let's think about this. Imagine you're playing the game, and I see this all the time. Like, 2 people walk into a room. If a sparrow walks in and the gym floor is kind of slippery, you're like, I can't play on this. This is way too slick. I can only play on good, solid floors. That's a sparrow. A lion says, I'll play on an ice rink, I'll play in the desert, I'll play on the moon. I'm going to get buckets. Think about a basketball. Oh, that's my favorite. Many boys in here, a ball will roll over to you. And you'll go, oh, what is this? Is this a girl's ball? Oh, I can't shoot this. Even though it's a ½ centimeter smaller. Like, that's your mentality. And I don't know if you realize, but FIBA uses a 28.5. In the Olympics, they're now playing 3-on-3. They play with a 28.5. It's been scientifically proven if you shoot with a girl's ball, you'll shoot better with a boy's ball. Capiche? A lion says, give me a boy's ball, a girl's ball, a bowling ball, a grapefruit, I'm going to get buckets. That's what a lion says. And the last one, oh baby, referees. Give me some taps if you don't like the referees. Oh yeah! Most engaging been all week. It's all about the zebras, right? And not zebras. No. Sorry. In Austin, Texas, do you have zebras? No. In South Africa, they do. They call them zebras. Is that what they're called? Right? Zebras? Yes. Any other of our staff been in South Africa? I know one of our staff is not in the room. Anyway, they're called zebras. Yeah, we'll talk about later. I want you to get this down in regards to referees. And parents, please text this in your phones. And I'll unpack it in a minute. It sounds ridiculous, but I want you to write this down. This is probably the most important thing you're going to learn besides confidence. Referees are blind cheaters that hate you. I'll unpack it, I promise. Referees are blind cheaters that hate you. I promise I'll explain it. Do you need a notebook? Keith, we'll get you some paper. I know. We'll get you some paper. Coaches, can 2 of you throw down some paper? We have a couple athletes that need to write some stuff down. Awesome, thank you so much. If you can pass that, I owe you a notebook, so that's on right behind. Oh, there's a notebook. Coach, you can keep your notebook. Okay. I see you, Coach. Respect will coming behind you. Do you need a pen? Did you bring anything from Hawaii besides your cool haircut? So, here's what I mean by referees are blind cheaters that hate you. And this is going to help a ton, I promise you. This is going to change your basketball career. Do you need some paper as well? Okay. You're just bored. Give me some taps if you've ever had a referee who you thought they might be blind. Give me some taps if you've ever had a referee in like one of your summer games who's like related to the other team somehow. There you go, Joe. Yeah, Joe's a cheater. And then give me some taps if you've ever walked in and for some reason, there's an official that we'll tap in a minute, that for some reason doesn't like you. And you don't know why. But you walk into the gym, and my ref's name was Arthur when I was in high school. I would walk in the gym, and I'd see him, and I would do this. Ready? Oh, no. He's our ref? Give me some tap to get one of those right there. Yeah. I've been there as well. Here's what you need to realize, and here's what the line realizes. Write this down. You need to expect 7 to 10 bad calls a game. You need to expect 7 to 10, parents, expect 15 to 20. 7 to 10 bad calls a game. And here's what I mean by that. If that is your mindset, and that is your approach, referees will never take you out of the zone ever again. Capiche? And here's what I mean by that. It's been scientifically proven for Olympic level athletes, the flow is a state where the game slows down. Now, if you've ever been in that state where the game slows down, yep, some of you haven't, I feel bad for you. It's where the game slows down and every move you make feels like you're going in speed that no one else can go. And so what they found is for Olympic level athletes that live in the zone, if something doesn't go their way and they react to it, it takes them on average 40 seconds to get back into the zone. High school athletes who get out of the zone, it takes you 2 minutes and 35 seconds to get back into the zone. So when you react to a bad call, your game is not as good for the next 2.5 minutes. That's something you need to know about your game. So here's the best part. Tell the person next to you, if you know the names of every one of the referees in your conference. Tell them yes or no. Go ahead. Just 2 minutes. Right. Here's what you need to write down. Referees are human beings. Referees are human beings. And here's what I mean by that. Most referees, when they were kids, they didn't roll out of bed and think, gosh, when I get older, I want to ref mediocre Texas high school basketball. Sorry, less than mediocre high school basketball. Sorry. We have a shot clock. And here's the other thing about referees. And so I tell my college team this: expect 7 to 10 bad calls a game. Don't be like my players. My players are jerks. So if a referee makes a bad call, they'll be like, all right, John, that's 1. You got 7 more. I'm like, well, don't be that person. But if your mindset is bad call happens and you respond to it, you're going to be ahead of everybody else. So here's what you need to do. You need to learn your refs' names. And so when I was in college, my senior year, from my junior year to my senior year, I averaged about 11 more points a game. So I went from about something to almost 20 a game. And what happened was I went to the line about 11 to 12 more times a game. And I would learn their names. And so what would happen was, when we come to the center circle, and when we do our captain's meetings, I would get the name. I'm like, what's the name, John? Oh, John, thank you so much for being here, man. We're really blessed that you can be a part of this. But I'd say, John, thank you for taking time out of your day to officiate us. We're glad you're here. And now I would use his name, and I would use his name over and over and over again. Because referees are human beings. Not if you're with me. Many people don't treat them like human beings. Like in whatever walk of life, like if there's a woman at the grocery store who was bagging her food and put her eggs underneath her cereal and the eggs broke, and then you turn and you were like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? And then just walked away. What would they think about you? They think you're crazy. But you do it to refs every single day. Like a ref, you'll go for a layup and you'll miss it. You're like, come on! And then you walk away. And the ref's like, the ref's not gonna be like, wow, I love that kid. Well, that's a good one. Like, no. If you learn their names, now they're on your side. Capiche? So here's an example. Here's what I would do. I get the ball, right? I was a point guard. I come down the court. John, the ref, would be walking with me. And I'm like, hey, John, I bet I get him in the air. I bet you fall foul right now. And then the guy guarding was like, does he know him? So then I get to the paint. I get in the air. And my defender right here, I get in the air. And he jumped. And I'm like, ah! And they call foul. And John's like, foul! That boy, good job. Thank you, John. Like, that's how you treat them. Right? And they do it over and over and over again. Here's my favorite. Every time there's a dead ball, and we said, like, the most beautiful sound in any language is the sound of what? Someone's name. love hearing their names. And so, like, I would try to take a charge and rotate over. Hey! And John's like, block, right? Because referees love calling blocks or charges. Where's our official? Is he in the room? One of our BIs is an official, and he and I were talking about this. But have you ever, oh my God, refs love doing this. So here's what John would do, right? John would love to be a part of the game in college. He'd go, no! And he'd call block. He goes, block! I'm like, you get it, John, it's a block. But they love more than that. They love to call charges. So after he calls a block, I'd go over to John and be like, hey, John, what did you see there? And I would write that down. That's what you asked them. What did you see there? As opposed to John, you idiot. Like, you said, John, what did you see there? And then John, who doesn't know basketball at all, usually, especially at high school level, because at college level, we get terrible. At the Division I level, we got bad refs. So I can't imagine at high school your refs. But John would be like, well, your pinky was out south and it should have been pointed north, and just something stupid. It's just always something ridiculous, right? So no matter what they say, you turn and you go, thank you, John. I'll do that next time. And you walk away. And as you walk away, John rubs his belly. He's like, I helped that man. He's my son. Right? So then a couple plays later, I'd rotate over and I'd go to take my charge. And I'm like, John! Yeah! Right? Yeah! Charge! And he's like, good job, son. I'm like, thanks, Dad. That's what referees are. Capiche? Treat them like human beings. All right. So I gotta keep going. We gotta go really fast. For mistake response, here's what I want you to write down. Your mistakes don't lose you games. Your reaction to mistakes lose you games. Your mistakes don't lose you games. Your reaction to mistakes lose you games. So right now we're going to try and create what's called a mistake response. And here's what a mistake response is. Gilbert just talked about it. It's called a two-clap. So basically, if an error occurs, bad players react, great players respond. You want to be someone who responds to mistakes. Most high school players that I go recruit, they'll make a mistake. They'll turn the ball over and immediately compound that with a foul right after. That's a double negative. It does not equal a positive. It's just a double negative. Capiche? So here's what you need to do. You need to respond to mistakes. And a mistake response is something that's created right now, not in the moment. In the moment you react, right now you create a response. And so here's one of mine too. One is the one Gilbert talked about. It's called the two-clap. And the two-clap looks like this. Most people turn the ball over and then they just, I'm so mad! And they just clap one time. Son of a, they put up. I'm not gonna say it. If you want to move on, you need to do a two-clap. And a two-clap is special. One clap is you acknowledge the mistake. The second one is you move on to the next play. And it's impossible to two-clap and look like strong. You look ridiculous. You can't look angry and clap twice. You can't turn it over and be like, I'm so mad! Like, I can't believe it! You look so silly, right? I don't know why I kicked my foot up. That was great. Kick back foot. No. Someone with 30 years is not going to like that. Wow, I love the way you kicked your heel up. Best. Here's the second mistake response. Go ahead and write this down. It's called the F word. And it's not that F word. No. The F word. I'm going to give you the F word here in a moment. This is a word that our owner at PGC, Mona Watson, shared with me when I was an athlete. It's scientifically proven to change your state by saying this word. It is not a curse word. Here's what the word is. Something happens. This is the word. Ready? Fascinating. Yeah. Fascinating. Teammates. So here's what I mean. So say I'm playing, and I tried this in high school as soon as I learned it. I was a senior. I came off a ball screen like a little hezzy pop. I floated and I went to shoot. I'm gonna shoot. I shot the basketball and I airballed by like 4 feet. As I shot it, everyone looked at me and I was like, fascinating. I started doing it over and over again. It's hard to be fascinated and angered at the same time. Your brain doesn't work that way. And so I started doing it in all aspects of my life. Like I did a test back and I'm like, oh, I thought I studied more. 70%? Fascinating. Right? Or a girl would come up to me when I was younger and be like, this relationship is over. It's not me, it's you. I hate you. I'm like, oh, fascinating. That's what you're going to do. So real quick, you're going to turn to somebody. You're going to give them a scenario. So you say like, you airball, or you dribble off your foot. And you're either going to two-clap, or you're going to fascinate. Capiche? Now, don't be too mean. Last week I was like, go ahead. And this girl goes, you're dog tired. Yeah, all right, ready? This is called fascinating. Fascinating! The mistake response, again, you can create anything you want. It's totally up to you. Something that works for you. Like my godson, that's Jay, and Jay plays at the Division 1 level. And I just super proud of him and how hard he works and how tough he is and how he plays. But he's known for being a shooter. He was the second best shooter in the state of California his senior year, percentage-wise and in amount of makes. And so I went to one of his games. They played at UCLA, he played at USC for one of his games this season, and I watched him play. And again, there were like 30,000 fans there. And I noticed, like after he turned the ball over, the ball went out of bounds, other team got fouled, so the other team shooting free throws. He went to the middle of the floor and he just started looking up at the ceiling. And I thought, that's weird, Jay would never do that in high school. So after the game I asked him, I was like, Jay, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, it's my mistake response. After I turn the ball over, I stand in the arena, especially if it's a packed house, I look at the top of the building and I realize how small I am in comparison to everybody. And I said, you're 6'11", you're not small compared to anything. And he said, well, so for people who don't know, Jay's younger brother hasn't walked since he was 4. He's been in a wheelchair and he's had a tough life. And so he just kind of puts it in perspective. He's like, my little brother Dom would give anything to be able to play basketball. It's not even at the high level, just basketball in general. And so he consistently keeps it in perspective. Capiche? We said on day one, like somebody somewhere would take your situation and run with it and be really successful with it. So why not let that be you? So with this, go ahead and circle this one right here. Be your number one fan. And here's what I mean by being your number one fan. This is starting to get into the confidence stuff. Raise your hand, give me some taps if you're your number one critic. Yeah, I agree. I think most of you are very hard on yourselves. Somebody raise their hand and tell me who their favorite player is. Favorite player? Yeah. Soul, which guy? So James Harden is his favorite player. Cass, you like James Harden? Yeah? Who you Soul? Yeah, I'll go ahead. Who's your favorite player? What is it? Sorry, go ahead. Good one. Jimmy Buckets, good one. Chef Curry, best player in the world, obviously. Yeah. Huh? Oh yeah! That's a big thing. Oh, D Book. Oh, I thought you said D Book. Devin Booker, good one. I never had that before. That's a great call, Devin Booker. Oh, thank you. Good one. Yeah, who got you back? Favorite player? Ooh, swiper. No.
Doug McDermott.
Oh, Dougie McBuckets. Okay, let's do a couple more. Yeah. Say Jesus shovels. It's a character from a movie. You mean Ray Allen? That's what he played. Nice. All right, let's go 2 more. Yeah. Sorry, I can't hear you. I'm back. Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose? I like that. 21-year-old Derrick Rose is really good. Yeah. Let's go last one. Yeah. Oh, PG-13. I like that. All right. Let's use James Harden real quick. So we're gonna use your example. So I'm your number one fan. Imagine, so you got to watch James Harden play. They said, hey, you're gonna come to the Honda Center. No, my bad. The Brea Center. So you got to go to the Toyota, and you got to sit courtside, and you got to watch the beard. Say the beard had just a tough game. Not a game he normally has. He goes 1 for 16 in the first half, and 0 for 5 in the second half. So 1 for 21. Okay? Say he fouled out, didn't play well at all, got beat by 15, probably played the 3. But then after the game, they said, hey, so we're going to allow you to come meet your favorite player. You can go meet James Harden. And let's say you walk into the locker room and James is just sitting there in his chair like this, with a towel on his head, towel on his beard, and just what would you say to James Harden if they were like, hey, you can ask him anything, you can talk to him? What would you say? Right, exactly. Because you're so starstruck. Well, let's give you some examples. Would you say this soul? You suck. Would you say, shave the beard, it's getting ridiculous? Would you say, it's time to take up gold? No. But here's the thing, like, here's what I want you to realize. If you wouldn't say it to your favorite player, don't say it to yourself. If you wouldn't say it to your favorite player, don't say it to yourself. And here's what many of you need to realize, and here's what a lot of the high-level players I've been around and high-level people I've been around, here's the difference between you and them, and many people in them. It's okay to be your number one critic, but you must also be your number one fan. I'll say it one more time. It's okay to be your number one critic, but you must also be your number one fan. Let's think about Kobe, for example. Nobody was harder on Kobe than who? Kobe. He was so hard on himself. But nobody loved Kobe more than Kobe. Kobe loves him some Kobe. I've seen Kobe work out twice when I lived out in Southern California. I've seen Steph Curry work out 3 times. Kobe would do this thing where he would make a shot, and he'd be like, yeah, Mamba, I like that. He'd be like, it's just you in here. This is really weird. He'd be like, yeah, Mamba, it's a good shot, boy. Like, he talks to himself. That's what the great ones do. They fill their own cups. Capiche? Like they pour into each other. They pour into each other. Real quick. Tell someone next to you something you did really well today. Go ahead. Go. Confidence. Here's the biggest thing. And here's what helped me a lot when I was an athlete. So my junior year of college, terrible crisis with confidence. Like, went from being recruited to a new school and thought I'd be the guy. Was supposed to be the point guard. Ended up only playing about like 8 minutes a game. Was supposed to be the starter, so I started the first couple games, and I was playing terrible. And I didn't get the offense, and I wasn't shooting well. And I missed home because I was hours and hours away. And so my 32 minutes went from 32 to 28 to 24 to 16 to 8 and then to 4. And it's because it was what I was putting my attention on. I would shoot and miss a shot, and like, you miss. All you do is miss. You're not a good shooter. All you do is miss. And then at practice, I miss a shot. Now, all you do is miss. You miss every single time. So then I go to shoot again. What would happen? Miss. And as soon as I miss it, I'd be like, I told you, I can't shoot. All I do is miss. And that became my identity. And so here's what really helped me. There's this place in England called Trafalgar Square. Trafalgar Square is known as one of the most pristine and beautiful areas in London. My wife and I, on our honeymoon, went to Italy for 4 weeks, and then we stopped by Trafalgar Square because I'd heard this story and I wanted to see it. When we were in London in Trafalgar Square, it's one of the cleanest, most pristine areas in the entire country. Capiche? Here's how it got that way. About 15 years ago, they did a renovation. It was over $7 to $8 million of cleaning Trafalgar Square. There are a lot of pigeons in that area because there are a ton of tourists that check it out. The tourists would feed the pigeons, and the pigeons would poop everywhere. And so the government spent about $7 to $8 million to clean the entire thing. They had enough of the pigeons. So they would put signs down that said, if you feed a pigeon, you will be fined $5,000. So people stopped feeding the pigeons. What do you think happened to the pigeons? Yeah, they didn't die. They probably just flew away. It's so mean. Pigeons are smart. They're like, no food? All right. And they're like, I'm not feeding you. And so here's what they realized. I was joking. And so what happened was this. People stopped feeding the pigeons, so they all left. It's the same thing with your thoughts. Your negative thoughts are called pigeon thoughts. The more you feed them, the more they come. The more you feed them, the more they come. It's about starving the pigeon thoughts. There's a philosopher by the name of William James. He's one of my favorite writers, one of my favorite authors. He said this back in the 1800s. He said, people tend to become what they think about themselves. I get that down. People tend to become what they think about themselves. And I think as basketball players, this is extremely vital. If you think about yourself in a positive light, you're going to play a lot better. If you think about yourself in a negative light, you're not going to play well at all. So peace? This is a huge thing that you need to understand. There was a study done at Chico State 5 years ago. Chico was in California. Chico's a small Division II school. In Chico, California, there was a team of 20 players. They divided the team up into 2 teams of 10 for this study. One team would do a 2-hour workout for 5 days, shoot for 2 hours. The other team, Team B, went into an air-conditioned room like this and meditated and did mindfulness practice, where all they did was imagine themselves shooting. The 2 teams played 5 days later. Team B, the team in the room, won by 25. Tell the person next to you why you think that is. Go ahead. And I got to watch the scrimmage. It was actually quite incredible. Yes, and first thing you, Angel, thank you. Go ahead, Angel. For sure. And here's what the group said. Group B said, here's the difference. We didn't miss when we did our meditations. We did not miss. And so for me, my master's program, my thesis is on the impact of mindfulness and free throw shooting. I used 100 Division I athletes in our area, so guys from Army State, Cal State Fullerton, UCLA, USC, San Diego State, guys that sat in a room and mindfully thought about making free throws versus people that didn't. The people that did mindfulness were about 80% better on average. And so you look at the best players in the world, they've all hired sports psychologists to pour into them a little bit, to help them work on their mindfulness. And so Devin Booker has a really good sports psychologist. His name is Dustin Gray. And so here's what Dustin Gray says to Devin Booker before almost every game. It's an Abraham Lincoln quote. He said, if we magnified our success as much as we magnified our disappointments, we'd all be much happier. I'll say it again. If we magnified our success as much as we magnified our disappointments, we would all be much happier. Yeah, if we magnified our success as much as we magnified our disappointments, we would all be much happier. There's the last 2 things and we're out of here. I promise we'll be out here in 5 minutes. Hey, really good job so far, guys. I love how attentive you were. You've been attentive all week. We're going to give a high five to someone next to you. High five. Oh, yeah. And so 2 of the last things, real quick. First one is this. With working on your mental game. You don't have to write this down. I just want to say it's one of my favorite quotes. But basically, in regards to the mental game, you only become great at that which you do every day. And so if you don't work on your mental game every day, you're not going to get much better at it. And so here's how you become better at your mental game. Journal more. Journal more. And underneath journal more, please write this. Write 3 positives a day. Sounds very silly, but mentor of mine named Dina Evans, who used to be the director and owner of PGC. She's 5'1". She played in Virginia, went to 3 Final Fours. She, to me, is one of the greatest thinkers I've ever seen in my life. And so she said after, like in her playing career, she struggled with confidence as well. And you can find this video, it's a video on YouTube for her and her confidence story. But basically, the thing that brought her out and the thing that brought me back was journaling. And so if you sit there and you do this list of 3 things you did well on the basketball court, that's what you put your attention on. And what you put your attention on will directly impact how successful you are as a basketball player. Agreed? So here's what I would do. Like, I hate writing about myself, like many of you. So first thing I would do is this. I'd be like, well, my shoes didn't come untied. That's pretty good. That's my first thing. Or I would put, I made a layup. I'm pretty happy with that. And then the third thing would be like, I like my shirt. That's the third thing. And the more you did it, the more in depth you go. Because as you play, you're thinking like, okay, I gotta do that list. I gotta do my list. I gotta do my list. And then you hit a jumper. Okay, that's good. Put it on the list, right? And then it starts to build. It becomes like an essay. You go like, I would put, okay, in the second half, I come off a pick and roll. I saw my big slip, and I threw this beautiful pass. So I throw the pass, and I'm like, yep, let's go on the list. Then my senior year, when I felt really good, I would use a move and I knock it down. And as I'm going back on defense, I look at my defender and I'm like, you just made my list. And like, that's what I would think about. And if I kept thinking about the list, that's where I put my attention on, as opposed to the miss. Agreed? Real quick, write down one thing you've done well today. This is called right. Right! Go ahead. Here's what I found with people, and like honestly, work on the list. It's going to help you a lot. And again, it sounds ridiculous, but I guarantee you, if you do it for 5 days in a row, you're going to feel a lot better about your game. Promise. So, with confidence, this is from a guy. His name is Jay Shetty. He's a monk, or used to be a monk, and now he's an author. And this is a quote he says about non-confident people. And I'm going to share it with you. Don't write it down because it's a weird, long quote that requires a lot of thinking. If you want it later, come find me, I'll give it to you. Here's what he says about people who are not confident. So about 90% of the population. People who are not confident are consistently thinking about what other people think. Like they worry, like, so if I play and I'm not confident, and I turn the ball over, I think like, okay, what does that person in the front row think of me? What does my coach's friend who's watching think about me? You know, what does my parent, what does my aunt who's watching me play think about me? Not if you're with me. And that's what not confident people are. So here's the quote. For non-confident people, this is what they think. Ready? He says, I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who I think, who you think I am. Tap to me if you understood that. Tap if you're confused. Ready? One more time. And again, I'll give it to you later so you can write it down. In California last week, in Colorado the week before that, we were here for 20 minutes. So I am not, like, I had to write it down. Here's me. Right? Here's what I mean by that. For someone who isn't confident, I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who I think you think I am. Isn't that pretty good? I like that one. Yeah. And so, sorry, real quick, my bad. So, I gave that quote in Israel, and again, there are like 450 coaches, there are like 150 athletes, like some professional players, some smaller players, some younger players. In Israel, their English wasn't the best. And so when they wanted me to say something again, they wouldn't raise their hand and say, excuse me, Coach Dustin, could you say that again? They would scream at me, again! And so I had to say this quote like 50 times. And so I would say like, good is the enemy of great. Again! Okay, good is the enemy, like they do it over and over and over. So that one I was like, and then 50, again! So I was like, oh, this is weird. Anyway, so the quote one more time is, I am not who I think I am. I am not who you think I am. I am who I think, who you think I am. Alright, here's the last thing and then we're out of here, real quick. For those of you who are tired right now, real quick, just ask yourself, am I a lion or am I a sparrow? I'm a lion! Some of you, your body language is kind of sparrow-like. You're kind of sitting back in your chair, you're in your feelings, you're rubbing up with the person next to you, and you kind of feel like, yeah. Lighten it up a little bit. This is the very last thing. Here's the last thing you need to realize about confidence. Confidence cannot be sustained if it's coming from somebody else. Confidence cannot be sustained if it's coming from somebody else. So if your mother, father, AAU coach, girlfriend or boyfriend, booth thing, side chick 365. I don't care. If somebody else, that's what we call them in our program. If our college guys have a side, we always have side chick 365. That means that girl will win every single day. Yeah. But anyway, if somebody else outside of you has to tell you how good you are, it's never gonna last. Here's what you need to realize. And so when I was younger, again, I was 5'1" my junior year of high school. Yeah, I said high school. They called me Stuart Little. I was a little baby thing, tiny kid. I would have to have my dad tell me how good I was. Again, my dad was a high-level Major League Baseball player, and he was very confident when he did. And so when I played terribly, I'd be like, Dad, can you tell me how well I played? And when I was younger, he'd be like, hey son, you played so well. Hey Dustin, the way that you passed, so great. The way you fouled, so good. The way you turned it over, so good. I'm like, thanks, man. Right? And so I had to do that every single time. So then one time, when I was getting recruited my senior year, after I grew a foot, I played terrible against one of my rivals called Foothill High School. I said, Dad, tell me how well I played. He said, no. I said, what? Dad, tell me how well I played. He said, new number. Here's what he meant. He said, hey Dustin, you're older now, you're 18. You're taller now. You're an adult. You can't keep coming to me for your confidence. And I said, why? You're my anchor. Like you and Mom both always give me confidence. And here's what he said. It's honestly one of the greatest things I've ever heard. He said, real quick, last thing I promise. He said, he said, if you live off my praise, you'll die off my criticism. He's a very polite man. He said, if you live off my praise, you'll die off my criticism. And here's what he meant by that. And again, he was my everything. He and my mom, we live in California, and they consistently flew out to Mississippi to watch me play. They go watch me play when I play in Canada, and they do everything. I very much appreciate that. So and my wife for allowing me to travel the country and be away from home for months at a time. I don't see my family for 4 months straight when I do this. And so for my dad, who's my everything, consistently he would make me better. To the point where if he ever had to tell me something I wasn't good at, it would crush me. And so here's the difference between confidence and cockiness. You don't have to write it down, just think about it. Confidence is, I know that I'm good. Cockiness is, I hope they think I'm good. Capiche? All right, you're gonna head to the gym in the moment. Go ahead and put your stuff away.